Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. The time is now 1:02 p.m. The special meeting of the Board of Directors of Paso Area Transportation Services Governments Corporation doing business as the El Paso Transportation Consultants is now in open session. The controller is presiding as the chair of the board, and the following agenda item will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next agenda item is public comment. No one signed up. Okay, thank you. We're now moving on to the regular agenda. The first item is item 4A. Approve the December 2nd, 2025 PTA minutes. These are presented by Annette Gutierrez.
Yes, and they were in your packet and they reflect the activities that were presented on last week's meeting.
Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes, and I have a request.
Okay.
In the minutes, it mentioned that I made the presentation, which I introduced the presentation. The presentation was actually made by Celia Garcia and Kathy, last name.
Yep.
And if that could be included in the minutes.
Yes.
Because
yes,
it's good to include Celia and Kathy.
We'll give them the credits there. So we can make those edits. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with Mr. Bañalas's request.
A second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Butler, second by Mr. Columbia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. We can move on to item 4B. Approve revisions to the bylaws to address representation on the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization and formation of committees of the El Paso Transportation Authority Board of Directors, and to forward recommendation regarding bylaws approval to the El Paso County Commissioners Court. Mr. Randall.
I'll take this.
Oh, I can take it. So thank you everyone for being here today and for your input and comments at our last meeting last week. It feels like longer than that, but it was last week. Really appreciate your feedback based on our conversations and as I mentioned, the unfortunate circumstance of the MPO Transportation Policy Board not allowing a quorum of local government, even though a solution to the issue of having a quorum in executive session was addressed and available. We are now in a position of being forced to amend our bylaws. And so I will request that you approve the bylaw changes that are in your agenda packet now.
And just to add on the bylaw changes, there are just some minor technical edits to ensure consistency with state law and eliminate the duplicative language. Basically added some language to appoint a corporation director or an executive director to serve on the corporation's representative on the MPO's Transportation Policy Board. And the representative shall be a duly serving member of the corporation board of directors or the corporation's executive director, and then allow for the formation of advisory committees as approved by the board of directors. To fundamental changes.
Any questions or comments?
And the MPO did provide a letter and a copy of their bylaws, which you have in front of you.
Before we take the vote, I just will take this opportunity to thank our county attorney's office, who worked diligently to ensure that the interests and autonomy of both the county and ETA were represented and communicated to the MPO's Transportation Policy Board. They really worked really hard to make sure that our interests were represented that our autonomy was protected. Unfortunately, again, the Transportation Policy Board decided not to take our county attorney's advice. And we know that a quorum of local governments exists on other MPOs. So this is very much a local decision to remove our ability to appoint our own representation onto this board. That being said, we're very fortunate to have Mr. Ando now as our executive director and to have the option to appoint him. Yes.
Chair, I just want to say, for the record, I see in the letter that the MPO sent to us in the second paragraph that says, in an effort to ensure that the county residents have a voice in our region. And the November 21st meeting, they approved the minutes to its bylaws. I just want to state publicly that I think that's a laughable statement. And them telling us basically who we have to appoint is not in a decent effort to ensure that the county residents have a voice in our region. And I disagree wholeheartedly with that statement.
Thank you, Commissioner Stout. Any questions or comments?
Madam Chair, should we provide a response to the MPO based on Commissioner Stout's comments?
We can draft a letter after today responding if you all think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, we can draft a letter letting them know that we begrudgingly changed our bylaws and had to take this vote, and that we disagree with the fact that we disagree with that statement.
Is everybody okay with this?
Staff can work with your office. Fine tuning the letter.
Chandler's on it. Okay. Okay, so just I'll accept a motion if anybody has one.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Rubio and a second by Commissioner Stout. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will then move on to item 4C. Appoint John Ando, El Paso County Director of Transit Operations, to represent the El Paso County Mass Transit Agency on the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization MPO Policy Board. Chair Butler.
Yes, so the next step in this process will be to formally appoint Mr. John Ando, our Executive Director, to the Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Board. Their next meeting is
7/19.
next Friday. And so this request for the bylaws changes, which is necessary in order to facilitate this appointment, will go to Commissioner's Court on Monday, this coming Monday, and with the goal of allowing Mr. Ando to attend the next MPO meeting as our representative. I have a resolution to read, and then we can take the vote. Resolution appointing the Executive Director of the El Paso Area Transportation Services Local Government Corporation and Director of Transit Operations for El Paso County Transit Operations Department, acting on behalf of the El Paso County Transit Agency, to the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Board. Whereas El Paso Transportation Services, EPATS, Local Government Corporation, LGC, is a local government corporation formed under the Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 431, and is responsible for the provision of public transit services outside of the city of El Paso within El Paso County. And whereas EPATS and El Paso County, as the Rural Transit District, have an interlocal agreement to which El Paso County provides grant funds through the Texas Department of Transportation and delegates overall transit management and operations to EPATS. And whereas the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, and Federal Highway Administration, FHWA, requires public transit agencies in large urbanized areas over 200,000 in population and has been designated as a transportation management area to have participation of public transit providers to have representation on the Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board and Technical Advisory Committee. And whereas the City of El Paso Mass Transit Department, South Central Regional Transit District, and El Paso County, through its transit agency designation as stated in the MPO bylaws each have one seat on the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Board and Transportation Project Advisory Committee. And whereas El Paso County, which has formed a transit operations department in June 2024 and has delegated management and operations of its transit agency to EPATS via an interlocal agreement. And whereas as of December 10th, 2025, there has been no creation of a countywide mass transit authority as authorized by Chapter 457 of the Texas Transportation Code. And whereas Article 3 of the bylaws and procedures for the El Paso MPO states that El Paso County Transit Agency or a countywide mass transit authority shall make one appointment to serve on the EPMVO's Transportation Policy Board. And whereas the bylaws and procedures for the El Paso MPO also require a resolution appointing such representative to the TPV and MPO be provided to an executive director of the MPO. And whereas Jackie Butler, chair of EPATS and the El Paso County Commissioner was appointed by the EPATS Board of Directors in June 2025 to represent the El Paso County Mass Transit Agency on the EPMPO TPB. And whereas the EPMPO TPB approved amendments to its bylaws and procedures precluding the creation of a joint forum between local units of government and EPMPO, resulting in Chair Butler's appointment by EPATS being voided as of November 21st, 2025. And whereas EPATS approved amendments to its bylaws to authorize a board member that is not an elected official serving to create a joint quorum of local governments with the EPMPO or its executive director to represent the interest of EPATS and the El Paso County Transit Agency on the EPMPO TPB effective December 10th, 2025. Now therefore be it ordered that the Board of Directors of the El Paso Area Transportation Services Local Government Corporation has designated its executive director serving in the capacity of El Paso County's Director of Transit Operations on behalf of the El Paso County Transit Operations Department, designated as El Paso County Transit Agency in the TPB bylaws, to serve on the MPO's Transportation Policy Board and will replace Chair Jackie Butler effective December 10th, 2025. Be it further ordered that this resolution shall remain in effect unless amended by the EPATS Board of Directors. Be it further ordered that EPATS intends to become the rural transit district of funds sub-allocated by the Texas Department of Transportation, as well as a direct recipient of FTA funds by September 1st, 2026, and as a result will be independent of El Paso County and intends to request amendments to the EPMPO bylaws and procedures so that it can have its own seat under its name on the EPMPO TPB prior to the separation from El Paso County. Passed, approved, adopted, and approved this 10th day of December 2025 by the following roll call vote. And I will accept a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Castañeda and a second by the opposition. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Moving on to agenda item 4B, appoint the chair, vice chair, and one voting member to the executive committee and to approve the work program of the executive committee. Chair Butler.
This is also a follow-up to the discussion that we had last week. I would like to bring this back next month when we vote on officers on the board. For now, just want to, maybe, I don't know if we should have a vote on the establishment of the executive committee and then next month vote on who the officers would be. If that's okay with the board, we can do that. And again, we have discussed in previous meetings the desire to have an executive committee to be able to work and provide guidance and advice to Mr. Ando on emerging issues, specifically related to Mr. Ando's new role as representative to the MPO. We would like this executive committee for the scope of work for the executive committee to also provide guidance on issues that come before the MPO that Mr. Ando will be voting on. So if I can have a motion to approve the creation of the executive committee to include 3 members of this board, next month we can bring it back to vote on who those members will be.
I'll make that motion. A second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Stout and a second by Eddie Conde. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 4E. Approve revised capitalization policy to increase threshold to 10,000 for recent changes to 2 CFR 200. Mr. John Endo.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. We brought this policy last week, and it was brought to my attention by the County Auditor's Office that in 2 CFR 200, that the threshold was increased to 10,000 and we adopted 5,000. So just to be consistent with what the federal requirements have established in 2 CFR 200, I just ask that the board consider increasing our threshold to 10,000. I do want to preface that this will take effect upon when assets get transferred over to EPATs from the county, and that the county still uses 5,000 as their threshold, which is a little more stringent than the federal requirements. County Auditor Barbara Parker is on the line if there are any questions in relation to the county's processes for capitalization. All right.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the revised policy.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Butler and second by Andrea Carrillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We will now go into, is there anything else to post?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
So we can now move on to item number,
We'll move on to item number 9 then for adjournment. If there aren't any other items, 6 items, maybe put it all the items.
We're adjourned.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
motion by Commissioner Butler, second by Andrea Carrillo. The meeting is now adjourned at 1 p.m.
Oh, do we have to take a vote?
You take a vote to adjourn?
Yes.
Apologies. All those in favor?
Aye.
No, that's good.
What, to meet for 4 hours?
Hey, I had to drive all the way over here. Might as well stay for.
Yeah.
Save that for the regular meetings.
Yeah.
Meeting now adjourned.
Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your
Thank you.
schedules. Here, appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Vallejo.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Yeah.
See you in January.
Great Christmas.
Merry Christmas.